Retired Dallas police officer Dr. Penny accuses White House of exploiting Tyre Nichols' death. Retired NYPD Inspector Allison Esposito, retired Dallas police officer Dr. Tyre Penny, and FOP National Vice President Joe Gaimaldi joined Fox and Friends to discuss the debate over policing in America following the death of Tyre Nichols. 4 of the 5 former Memphis officers indicted for murder, aggravated assault, and other charges in connection to the deadly beating of Tyre Nichols were previously suspended or received written reprimands during their tenure at the police department, according to reports. Demetrius Haley, Desmond Mills, Jr., Justin Smith, and Emmett Martin III all received prior disciplinary action for incidents including failure to report when they used physicality, failing to report alleged domestic violence, or for damages to their squad cars, according to internal records obtained by the Commercial Appeal through a public records request. Tadarius Bean, also terminated and subsequently charged over Nichols' death, was the only one without any prior internal department disciplinary record, according to the newspaper. Haley received a written reprimand in November 2021 for failing to file a response to resistance form, which is required when any part of the officer's body is used to compel compliance per department policy and procedures. Tyre Nichols, Tim Scott blames Dems for failed police reform meant to ensure only the best wearing the badge. Memphis Police Department officers Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Bean, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills and Justin Smith were terminated on January 18 for their role in the arrest of deceased Tyre Nichols. Memphis Police Department officers Demetrius Haley, Tadarius Bean, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills and Justin Smith were terminated on January 18 for their role in the arrest of deceased Tyre Nichols. Memphis Police Department. A woman complained in February of that year that Haley grabbed her by the arm and turned her around to be handcuffed as she resisted arrest, according to the charges statement. A disciplinary hearing summary said, Officer Haley advised that he understood the policy but had simply mistaken, in this case, as to the amount of force necessary to require a blue team entry. At the hearing, Memphis Police Lt. William Akard said Haley was a hard-working officer who routinely makes good decisions and that he was sure that this was a limited event, the newspaper reported. A month later, Haley was driving his police cruiser with lights and sirens on when he lost control during a turn, hitting the curb and a stop sign. He said he was responding to a call for backup from another officer who said he has a suspect at gunpoint. The internal charge was later dismissed. Mills, Jr. also received a written command for failing to fill out a response to resistance form. In March 2019, he took a woman police were trying to arrest to the ground to help in handcuffing her. The hearing summary said, Officer Mills stated he was familiar with completing the response to resistance document in Blue Team, but he did not realize it applied to his actions in this cause. From left, Desmond Mills, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, and Tadarius Bean. Each of the Memphis Police Department officers were terminated on January 18 for their role in the arrest of deceased Tyre Nichols. From left, Desmond Mills, Demetrius Haley, Justin Smith, Emmett Martin, and Tadarius Bean. Each of the Memphis Police Department officers were terminated on January 18 for their role in the arrest of deceased Tyre Nichols. Shelby County Jail. Mills, Jr. was reprimanded in another hearing for mishandling equipment after his digital personal assistant was dropped and run over by another vehicle, according to the internal records. As for Martin III, he was suspended for 3 days without pay for not checking the back seat of his cruiser, where a silver revolver was found after his shift. He was also suspended for a day without pay for failing to take a report after responding to an alleged domestic violence incident September 7, 2020, as is required per department policy and Tennessee state law. At his hearing, Officer James Schmitties described Martin as one of the shift's top producers. In July 2021, Martin was suspended for 2 days after, while driving an unmarked police cruiser, he struck the back end of a Ford F-150, causing it to spin out, and then hit the driver's side of a Chevy Malibu. Both he and the driver of the Ford were taken to Regional 1 Hospital. The driver of the Ford was also cited for driving with a suspended license, according to internal records. This photo provided by the Nichols family shows Tyre Nichols. This photo provided by the Nichols family shows Tyre Nichols. Courtesy of the Nichols family via AP. 7 officers were relieved of duty following Nichols' January 7 arrest. Nichols died at the hospital 3 days later. 5 of those officers were indicted last week as officials also released graphic body camera and street cam video of the deadly beating following a traffic stop. The actions of the 2 others remain under investigation. One of them, identified as Officer Preston Hemphill, who is the only known white officer involved, participated in the initial traffic stop and use of a taser but was not directly involved at the first and second scene where Nichols was physically abused and suffered serious injuries, Memphis police said Monday. The identity of the 7th officer involved has not been revealed. City of Memphis Chief Legal Officer Jennifer Sink said in a Tuesday evening statement that the city will be holding all additional video and audio relating to the January 7 traffic stop until it completes an administrative investigation, which should occur in the coming weeks. 3 Memphis fire EMTs were terminated Monday as a result of investigations into Nichols' death. Memphis Police disbanded its Scorpion unit, launched in November 2021 to patrol high-crime areas. Vice President Kamala Harris and the family members of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor are expected to attend Nichols' funeral Wednesday, which was postponed by several hours due to weather and travel delays. The Rev. Al Sharpton is expected to deliver the eulogy. Fox News' Adam Sabes contributed to this report.